Okay, guys, welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. If you landed on this podcast episode, you are probably a manifesting generator and a female entrepreneur, coach, or expert. So, welcome, take a cup of tea, and binge listen to all the amazing episodes I have set up for you. Episodes to help you create the right energy and mindset to create the manifesting generator business and life of your dreams. Here we go. Okay, Queens. So it's been an interesting week. I've done a lot of late night videos on Instagram, and now I'm doing a late night podcast episode. And I wanted to do an episode about a very interesting topic because I've actually done something today that I've never done before. And that is actually replying to somebody. I will explain a little bit more. Replying to somebody in an email that I was not amused by their email. So let me explain a little background story here. So when I was in high school, I was part of a popular group, and then I also got bullied by a different popular group of women. 1 second. Oh my goodness. My nipple. Ow, so. Oh my goodness. I don't know. My daughter's asleep, and like in her sleep, she's all of a sudden biting, but she still has my nipple in her mouth. So that wasn't very delightful. Okay, anyways, back to the story. Maybe it's a sign I shouldn't talk about that. Yes, I think it's a sign that I'm not going to talk about that. We're not going to go there. We're not going on that route. But what happened? I received an email from a person who actually attended my webinar today. So I basically did 3 workshops today. One exclusively for my MG sisters. I did like a Sunday service type of thing. And then after that, I did 5 new clients in 30 days. And then after that, I did my webinar, Making Money with Your True Soul's Mission. And I sent it out the replay to everybody who attended. And then I got this reply from one of the MGs who was present there. And she wrote an email with a lot of things in it. But the essence of the email was that she really felt like I was not doing a great job at selling since I had 20 attendees and I only sold to 2 people. And she wanted to let me know in this email that that's the reason why she didn't buy, because I didn't sell it to her properly. And at first I get this email and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is she actually saying? I had to read it a couple of times. And this is where it becomes interesting, because before I would always be like, yeah, I don't care. I mean, some people like it, some people don't, and I'm just going to ignore it. And today I was like, you know what? This is so not me anymore, that I'm letting people like just treat me any way they desire. I know it's very spiritual. No, I don't know if it's actually spiritual to ignore it when people step over your boundaries. I don't really think it is spiritual to let people step over your boundaries. I don't think that's spiritual at all. If you think about raising your child, you can be very loving, but you still have to give your child some boundaries, right? Otherwise, it doesn't feel safe at all. And I just had that huge aha moment, like, Sophie, seriously, if you want to feel safe in your own presence, you need to respond. And this was like so out of my like box. I wouldn't say comfort zone, because I didn't really feel uncomfortable doing it. It's just like something I used to not do. I used to never reply to anybody who would send me emails like that. And today I was like, you know what? This is like I'm so not appreciative of this email. I mean, I'm totally fine with people sending me constructive criticism, or they maybe want to like I don't know, something constructive. But I didn't felt that this was in any shape or form constructive, if that's the right word. And I just felt it doesn't even matter what the intention was. It just didn't feel nice to receive this email at all. So I let that person know. And I was like, yes, okay, interesting. This is a new thing for me. It's a new thing to let people know these are my boundaries, and I do not appreciate you going over my boundaries. I'm not going into a discussion, I'm not going into the details. I'm just letting that person know I am not appreciative of this type of communication, right? So I just want to share that with you guys to let you know that it is so interesting that when we make the decision to step into a new reality, um, um, that no, let me rephrase it, that we always have a decision to step into a new reality. And it's always very interesting to investigate, okay, what situations are coming on my path that I would normally handle in a specific way, and that I could handle today in a new way. And it's not even about like, how do I want to show up? How do I want to do this? No, this is like, okay, does this feel right to me? And if it doesn't feel right, what am I invited to do? Right? And it felt very empowering, I have to say. I haven't received anything back. Maybe this person is going to respond to me and be like super angry. It's totally possible. But I'm just like celebrating the fact that I said, no, this is my boundary. I do not appreciate it. And if you want to do this somewhere, like if you choose to do this, please choose someone else because I am not available for this. And I do think it's an interesting topic because I feel a lot of people in the online world, maybe you as well, and a lot of my clients actually go through this, that they feel held back in their energy. They feel held back in their energy to show up online because they are afraid for people like commenting their behavior or calling them out on things that they don't appreciate, especially when we start selling. I had this beautiful example of one of my Dream Academy members. She's currently launching a program herself. She had a lead page which was not converting in the way she wanted to convert. So she asked me to actually look at the lead page and to tweak it with her. So I basically looked at her lead page and made some suggestions how she could actually turn it in a more converting lead page. And it opened up a beautiful conversation about sort of being afraid to promise something and then being called out on it during the webinar that it's not exactly what people were expecting. And I think this is so interesting because a lot of people have this fear and it's holding them back. But you have to really, like, this is always what I remind myself of, right? Yes, there will always be people who think you are unethical or you're doing something wrong or whatever. But those are people who are at a frequency of taking from the energy field instead of giving, right? And it is up to you if you allow people to take from you. There will always be people in the world that will try to take something from your energy. That is like inevitable. Like, just as it's inevitable that it sometimes snows and it sometimes storms. But it's up to you to decide, do I actually like accept this, right? I mean, are you gonna like stand outside when it rains or when it snows with no clothes on as a victim? Or are you gonna be like, oh fuck, it's snowing. You know what? I'm gonna get some boots, gonna get some warm clothes, or I'm just gonna sit inside, but I'm not gonna stay outside as a victim and freeze to freaking death, right? So there's always a choice. You always have a choice. And I think when you grasp this and if you understand the deeper meaning of this message, that the only person victimizing yourself is yourself. And I just posted a reel on Instagram. If you don't freaking like where you are in life, move. You are not a tree, right? So change your behavior. Set your boundaries. Say to people, I'm not appreciative of this. And don't let your ego believe, like I always used to call this like ego trying to pretend it's spirit. I think this is happening so many times for a lot of us that we think that ego actually tells us, oh, it's not spiritual to react in this way. It's not spiritual to do this. But it's actually our ego trying to keep us small, right? Because what is spirituality anyways? In my book, spirituality is being true to yourself. And if yourself is saying, hey, this is not cool, then act on it. It's like the same thing. If you put your hand in the middle of the fire and it's burning, are you going to be like, oh yeah, it's really not spiritual to pull back my hand. I'm just going to let my hand get burned. No, it doesn't feel comfortable. You freaking pull your hand back, right? So think about this and really embrace this frequency, because this is the frequency that is going to allow you to call in a new reality, to call in a new outcome, a new lifestyle. The workshop I hosted today about the 5 new clients in 30 days, I actually shared a formula that I use myself to manifest. And it's like a formula where you basically turn yourself from an ice cube into water and into mist. And I want to give you this example because my promise for my webinar is 5 new clients in 30 days. And this is what I see with a lot of my clients. They are afraid to make a bold promise for their webinar or for their whatever it is. They feel, or for like a low price masterclass or whatever, they feel uncomfortable making a bold movement because they're like, yeah, but I can't really deliver that in a free webinar, or I can't really deliver that in one masterclass. Yes, you can, because you can get people to become an energetic match for those 5 new clients in 30 days. That's what you can do in that 1 hour or in that masterclass. And your actual program is the freaking answer for them to get those 5 new clients. You are not putting a pistol to somebody's head and saying, you have to sign up for my program. No, you're just letting them know you have a problem, you want a solution, and this is the solution I have for you. And then it's their choice to feel into it and decide, do I like this choice? Do I want to go on with this or not? People who sign up for your webinar come because they have a problem with something or they have a desire. In my case, most of my clients want more clients. Okay, so when you sign up for my webinar, you're getting my solution to it. And my solution is my program, are my paid programs, because I can give you a lot of inspiration during my free webinars, which I love doing and which creates a lot of aha moments for most people who attend, but it's not going to get you the actual result. It's like I give this example in this webinar as well. It's like you are desiring a six-pack, you know, your apps, a six-pack on your apps, and you're going to this coach who's telling you exactly, okay, these are the steps you have to take to actually create the six-pack. And then if you don't follow up with it, and if you don't actually execute the steps, you're not getting anywhere. Everybody has a choice, and they can choose to do it on their own, or they can choose to do it with the coach. And if they're like totally comfortable to do it on their own, then great. They got amazing inspiration during the webinar. They understand the steps to take, and they're going to do it on their own. And if they feel like, oh my God, this is an amazing formula and I would love help with this, they sign up with you, right? I truly believe that everybody already knows if they want to work with you upfront. If they sign up for your webinar, there's already a desire on a soul level to work with you. And this is why I don't believe in actually convincing anybody to work with you. You're just saying, this is what I have in store for you, and feel into it. And I have an amazing offer for you today. I have an amazing limited time offer for you today. And if you get in today, you get it for this price. But at the end, it's up to them. But you need to understand that in order to actually get those soul clients and to get people to sign up for your free stuff, you have to be willing to make bold statements. And this is what I see with a lot of people who don't convert well on their webinars or on their lead page, is because they are afraid to make promises. But who are you afraid of? Those couple of clients who are going to complain and say like, oh my God, I didn't like your webinar, you didn't deliver. Okay, but are you here to bring something, or are you only here to take? Those are takers, okay? Focus on the bringers. Focus on the people who do actually like your webinar, because there are always people, if there are people who don't like your webinar, there are also people who do like your webinar. So I always tell myself, every webinar I host, I know this webinar is for one person who really, really desires to work with me. And sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two, sometimes it's three, sometimes it's 5 people who sign up. It depends. But I always tell myself, this is for at least one person who desires to work with me. And by keeping that in mind, this is actually what helps me to show up, even if I feel uncomfortable, even if I feel all those same emotions that you might feel about it. But that's just an old program. That's not who I am. So I never choose to listen to it. And I listened to a beautiful audio from one of my former clients who's now actually very successful. And she talks in this video about how she was super uncomfortable the first time she started recording videos, and she had panic attacks and anxiety. And she truly felt like, okay, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not able to do this. And if she would have believed those limiting beliefs, she would not have the successful business she has right now. And I'm talking about somebody who became super, super successful. And we have to become really unselfish here, right? Because she actually helped thousands of women in the last couple of years because she overcame that fear. So we can't pity ourselves all the time. We can't be like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. No, I'm not going to do it. Well, fuck that shit. I'm afraid a lot of the time. Don't you think I feel uncomfortable about most of the things I do? Yes, I feel uncomfortable about it. But it's not who I am. It's an old program that's just running. And I have a choice to listen to it or not. And is that easy? No, it's not. No, it's not. I will say that my method of turning myself from an ice cube into water and mist absolutely helps to not identify with the story, to stay fluid, to keep calling in new desired outcomes. But no, it's not easy. So make up your mind. Stop pitying yourself. Start doing the things that are uncomfortable. And start making some bold promises. Because you know you're capable of it. You're just afraid to promise it because you're afraid that people are going to complain. Trust that the universe has your back. Trust that your spirit team won't let you down. Trust that you can deliver. Jump and the net will appear. But if you're not bold enough to make those bold statements, if you're not showing up from a confidence energy, nobody's freaking gonna follow you. Do you think that people are gonna follow a leader that is like, okay guys, I think I could maybe possibly get you to a safe spot but I'm not quite sure. I mean, I could really make you sort of aware of the fact that you might are not happy where you're currently at, but really, I'm not. I think I can get you there. I think, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. Like, yeah, you have to decide for yourself if you want to come with me. Hello, guys. That's not the energy people are gonna follow. Become a freaking leader. Show up as a leader. Make bold statements. Surround yourself with like-minded people who have your back if it comes to that, right? But don't show that to your clients. Don't show that to your husband. Don't show that to people who are not the right people to support you in that. I just had this beautiful conversation with one of my MG Dream Academy clients. She sent the chart of her husband to me, and we had this beautiful conversation about, okay, you have your profile, your husband has his profile, and the worst thing you can do is really share your insecurities with him. Of course, you can have some discussions about it, but not your daily, everyday business insecurities, because his type can't handle that. It will make him insecure, and that will make you more insecure. Find a freaking tribe of women. Find your, in her case, she has us, the Dream Academy member, she has me. Share it with me. Share it with somebody who actually can help you work through it in a confident way. But don't share it with people who will actually make you more insecure. If you share your insecurities with your clients, you're sure not going to feel better. So there are different worlds to play. And in order to become a successful entrepreneur, in order to make a huge impact on the world, in order to transform a lot of people's lives, you have to become a leader. And what that looks like differentiates for everybody. I show up differently than you. And another person listening to the podcast will show up in a different way. We all have our different way, different form of being a leader. But come on, guys, you have to be a leader if you want people to follow you, to learn from you. Nobody's going to pay money to learn from an insecure teacher. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't be insecure. I am insecure. I know a lot of very successful entrepreneurs who are still insecure, but they understand where they need to share that, who they need to share that with. And they also, and this is even more important, understand who not to share it with. Okay? So, I am talking now for over 22 minutes, preaching on this whole leadership thing. So, I think it's enough. I think you get the freaking point. Start showing up as a leader, and go and do your thing. Make some bold statements, please. The world is so wanting you to do this. Okay, catch you guys later. Bye.